Hi, welcome back to another lesson with Kal-El. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about estimation or rounding. So right off the bat, what I did is that I created a little tool for myself to help me with the rounding or estimating, figuring out what number needs to do what. So I kind of made myself a little mountain by doing a triangle. And on one side, I had the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on the other side of the mountain, I have the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, it's really important that we set it up this way because we need to clearly see a difference to let us know which numbers are going to do what. So on this side, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to tell us that that number stays the same. And on this side, from 5 through 9, we're going to have the numbers that tells us to increase it by 1. So let's begin. So first off the bat, we have a question that's going to ask us to round to the nearest 10. And in this case, let's just say the number is 483. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make a place value chart. Because this goes out to the 100, I'm just going to do a value chart for hundreds, tens, and ones. And then I'm going to make sure I input my values correctly. So I know that I have 4 hundreds, 8 tens, and 3 ones. Now, because this question is asking me round to the nearest 10, I want to identify my digit inside the tens place. So I know that the digit inside the tens place is going to be this 8. So I'm going to circle it. And then I'm going to immediately look at the number to the right with my identifier. So the immediate right is here. So it's a 3. I'm going to underline it because then that's going to draw my attention to it. And it reminds me, okay, this 3 or this number is going to tell me what I need to do. So if I look back at my little mountain that I made, I notice that 3 tells me that the number stays the same. Well, which number are you asking? Well, that's why we identified it, right? It's the number that I circled, or the number that's place value we're looking at, which in this case is going to be the tens. So my 8 stays the same. Any numbers to the immediate right of what I rounded to is going to all change to 0. And then the hundreds, nothing happens to it. Number stays the same. So I have a 4. So if I were to take the number 483 and round it to the nearest 10, I would get 480. Now, let's take a look at the same number, but this time we are going to round to the nearest 100. So once again, I have 483. And in this case, I always want to start with making a place value chart. I have hundreds, so I'm going to make a place value chart to my hundreds. So I have a 4 in my 100 spot, I have an 8 in my 10 spot, and I have a 3 in my 1 spot. Oops, sorry. So now, again, I need to identify what number they ask me to look at. So because they're asking me to look at the nearest 100, I'm going to circle the 100. So in this case, it's the 4. And then I'm going to immediately underline the number to the right. So the number to the right is going to be an 8. You know what, that's not very clear. Let me go ahead and get rid of this number and rewrite it for you. So now the 8 is what's bringing my attention, and the 8 is going to tell me what I need to do to this number 4. Either the value is going to stay the same or I need to increase the value by 1. So let's go ahead and look back up at our little template. So as you can see here, 8 is here, and it tells me that I need to increase the number by 1. So I'm going to go back to my place value chart. So my original number was 4. And if I increase that 4 by 1, I'm going to get a 5. Now, once again, once you have changed that number, any numbers to the immediate right of the number that stays the same or changes now become 0. So this 8 becomes a 0, and this 5 becomes a 0. So if I took 483 and I rounded to the nearest hundred, the answer is going to be 500. Hopefully that helps you with any sort of questions with estimation or rounding. This is Kal-El signing off. I hope to see you for the next lesson.